Hello and welcome to Global News Relay 2026. This year's theme is AI, and we'll be joined by students from across the world looking at this topic from every angle.
You may be thinking that something seemed a little bit odd with that introduction, and you'd be right. That was an AI news anchor.
With the vast increase in the use of AI across the globe, it's becoming more difficult by the day to separate the real from the fake, as we've just demonstrated with our AI-generated anchor. I'm Joe Pinner.
And I'm Kaylee Beardsley, and we're here, in person, broadcasting from our studio in Leeds. In this programme, we'll be addressing worldwide concerns spanning 12 time zones about artificial intelligence, as well as considering its benefits across a variety of industries.
We head across the Atlantic to the University of Alabama in America, to Alliance University in Bangalore in India, as well as covering a variety of regional stories in the UK, from both Leeds Trinity and Coventry universities.
In today's show, police forces in Alabama have been using AI-powered drones to assist with their investigations, hoping that advancements in the technology will help to reduce criminal activity in the state.
In Coventry, concerns are mounting about the use of artificial intelligence in the music industry amid the rise of AI-generated artists.
And in India, Alliance University has been using AI in its experiments with robotics.
But first, we start here in Yorkshire, where we'll be looking at both the fears and benefits of AI in sectors such as the arts, education and public services.
Hello and welcome to Global News Relay. I'm Joshua Vickers.
And I'm Hannah de Villiers.
On this programme we'll be covering a range of stories from the world of AI and how it's being used across Yorkshire.
We'll be taking a look at how Barnsley has become the first tech town in the UK, how police forces across the country have begun to use it to tackle crime and antisocial behaviour, as well as exploring its role in arts and culture.
First we head to Barnsley, where the council are introducing this new technology to schools, local businesses and health centres. The hope is that the inclusion of AI will improve the quality and speed of public services. Kaylee Beardsley has more.
Barnsley is a proud industrial town in South Yorkshire known primarily for its coal mining, but more recently it has been named the UK's first government-backed tech town. The aim is to improve public services, such as schools and hospitals, as well as accelerate business growth. But will everyone benefit from this change?
I always think that when something's being implemented on us, it should be equal for everybody. If AI is going to be implemented into things, then people have to understand what the technology is in the first place. You're going to have a generation that doesn't understand it and going to get left behind in everything that happens. If AI is going to take over and it's implemented by authorities, it's not something that you can choose over. It's something that will happen because it's been implemented on you. It's here today and gone tomorrow in 6 months' time. So it's a question of just, especially the older generation, being able to keep up with such things. You're creating divisions in society by doing that, and that's my personal opinion on it.
Barnsley's designation as the first tech town marks a defining moment for the region. But not everyone here wants the change. The challenge now is making sure this digital future is shaped with the community, not just for it.
One of Leeds' biggest industries is making its attitude towards AI known. Our reporter Eve Ward spoke to local creatives in the area to find out how it's affecting their practice.
Generative AI is taking the world by storm, but the British Museum AI scandal raised questions about the future of the creative industry. The Office for National Statistics estimates that there are over 110,000 creative jobs in West Yorkshire alone. But is AI going to change this? And how will it affect local creatives? Mark Taylor is a local landscape photographer moored in Gargrave.
I mean, don't take me wrong, the days of me carrying 100 rolls of film on a location is great that I don't have to do this. I go along with 2 little chips and it's no effort, basically. So that's the joy of digital, but when we're talking of AI, it's not just the capturing of art now, it's how can they change it? It's not real, is it? It's, and that's the shame, is, you're just bending the rules. And that's it, bending the rules, maybe, to make money.
Assembly House in Armley is an artist-led community organisation providing affordable studio spaces. Louisa Freitas and Dan Collins are 2 resident artists whose practice has been influenced by recent technological developments.
It's now a conscious thing when I do my art to make it as human as possible. AI could do all the crap and the mind-numbing, boring stuff, or that they could do better. The AI could be incredible. It could free us up to be artists full-time. It's just think of that word artificial and put it in front of other words. So, you know, would you like an artificial smile? Would you like some artificial sunshine, perhaps? Artificial love, artificial wisdom. Would it really be the same? Would it have that human element? So why the hell are we like going for artificial intelligence? Our intelligence is so amazing.
I'm Luisa Freitas and I'm a visual artist. I work in illustration and 2D animation. I am creating a few artworks specifically against AI, where I'm designing freakish human hands to further emphasize the point that you should not use AI and you should support human artists. The joy comes from doing it, from pouring parts of me out into the world. The process is the point. It's bizarre, the sheer amount of job opportunities targeted to artists to create all sorts of traditional artwork to feed an AI algorithm. There are hundreds of companies paying you for you to put yourself out of your job. I predicted in the future many artists won't have as many commissions because companies that don't care about their product. Everything else has a reason for being and has a need for it, but AI, it's a waste of time and resources for everyone.
Leeds is already a hub for TV production companies. It now boasts a Channel 4 headquarters alongside the pre-existing BBC and ITV. Joe Maris lives in Yorkshire and has been a freelance scriptwriter for local soap opera Emmerdale for almost a decade.
It's a worry, I suppose, if you're a scriptwriter, to think that you could potentially put information into a machine or a software program and it could come back with something, and that would worry me to think, oh my God, is that going to one day replace us lot? How it'll affect us creatively? My honest answer, I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be more of a benefit than a disadvantage, but I think I'm probably being optimistic.
The future of the creative industry hangs in the balance. Will people always have a place in art? Only time will tell. Eve Ward, Yorkshire Voice.
Live facial recognition is coming to Leeds. West Yorkshire Police have announced that 2 vans, both equipped with facial recognition cameras, are to be deployed in the city centre. Joe Pinner has more.
It was piloted in London and now it's being rolled out across West Yorkshire. Police say live facial recognition is vital to catching criminals on the streets and to locate missing people. But civil liberties campaigners say the technology violates basic rights to privacy.
I think people in West Yorkshire should be very worried about the rollout of facial recognition, and that's because facial recognition technology is taking incredibly sensitive information as you go about your daily life. So when you walk by a facial recognition camera, it's taking information that's as sensitive as your fingerprints or your DNA. And you can't imagine a situation in which the police would just take that information when you're not suspected of any wrongdoing. So what it's doing is turning the presumption of innocence on its head, because it's treating every single person who walks by as a suspect by default.
From a crime detection and prevention perspective, it's a fantastic tool. You know, not only does it give you facial recognition of people that will be already wanted for offences that are outstanding, but it can also give you an intelligence database of faces, and then should they pop up in the future, you can compare one to the other, a bit like a fingerprint database.
There will now be a public consultation as the technology is introduced across the region. The question for residents, is this Big Brother watching you, or the police keeping you safe? Joe Pinner, Yorkshire Voice.
Now, while AI facial recognition may be helpful to police, for journalists, facial distortion can be a useful way of preserving source confidentiality.
Protecting interviewees is a big part of journalistic integrity, and maintaining your sources' trust is highly important.
Filmmaker Carla Wright is with us to talk about how AI can be a useful tool to anonymise sources. Hi Carla.
Hi.
So could you tell us if you've used AI in your productions and how?
Yeah, so I've used AI in documentary making where the contributor wants to remain anonymous and in some cases legally might need to be anonymous. And I think it's quite a good way to use AI, because actually what you can do with face swap technology is you can maintain the expression and the emotion of your interview, viewee in a way that you can't if you were to say film them from behind or in front of a window or whatever the other alternatives might be. So while I think you need to be careful in terms of the framework that you use AI and you need to make sure that you maintain your integrity, there are some cases where it gives people a voice and puts the emotion behind that voice that you could otherwise lose.
Yeah, a lot of people would say that AI has no place in journalism. What would you say some of the benefits are of having it, broadly speaking?
I don't. Further than that, I'm not sure that there are. That I think you've got to be very careful, and that there are lots of reasons why. You know, there's ways you can use AI, for instance, to distort what people are saying or to change what they're saying. And I think you need to be very careful if you're looking at going down those roads. But yeah, the anonymisation would be the kind of key benefit to me.
Right. So on that, how do you make sure that you kind of use AI ethically in your work?
Well, I think I would only use it for that purpose personally.
Right.
You know, many people, you could use it for proposal writing, you can use it for scripting and things like that. And I don't know, you know, there's different lines in terms of the ethics on that, but I think, yeah, to me, that singular purpose is something that I feel personally comfortable with, and that makes sense to me.
Great, thank you so much for being with us today. So on that, have you ever wondered how AI is generated?
Behind the scenes, huge data centres packed with powerful computers run the systems that power today's digital services in AI.
And now, a new data centre could be coming to the Drax power station site near Selby. Our reporter Rebecca Swales has more.
As you can see, I'm outside Drax power station, and this is the UK's biggest carbon emitter. However, with the UK government's AI Opportunity Action Plan, what will the consequences be not only for Selby, but for the wider UK environment? The UK government says AI is now a key driver of economic strength and hard power, and it brings major opportunities. The UK government have subjected a £2 billion investment, and the site could be up and running by 2027. However, no planning application has been submitted yet. Drax Group plans to build a 100 megawatt data centre to support AI growth, prompting a debate about balancing AI expansion with climate targets. I spoke to Mary from Drax about what concerns they have.
I think AI is a tool, like many other tools we have in our society. There may be some uses for it. It's very concerning for all of us who live across Yorkshire to see that this is the direction that Drax is heading in and that this is being supported by our combined authority in North Yorkshire. It's absurd. We desperately need to be moving away from dirty energy, and if we're building data centres, we need to be thinking about why we're doing that, if there's actual social good from that, how they're being powered, the impacts on water.
With around 500 data centres already operating in the UK, the rapid growth of artificial intelligence is raising environmental concerns. These facilities use large amounts of water and electricity, often powered by fossil fuels, producing electronic waste. The International Energy Agency says that a single request to ChatGPT can use around 10 times more electricity than a Google search. As AI demand grows, questions remain over how the UK will balance innovation with its net zero climate goals.
The use of AI to spread misinformation is becoming more and more common.
Recently, social media posts claiming to be from the City of York Council were shared to a large audience online.
The posts were created using AI and show how easy it can be to influence masses of people. Barney Nightingale reports.
Recently, fake social media posts claiming to be from York City Council were viewed by hundreds of thousands of people online. The material was created using AI and shows that the spread of misinformation has been made possible by the fast-developing technology.
To try and influence the way people feel about things very, very deliberately, producing content that's designed to influence people's thoughts and the way in which they're inclined to vote. That is obviously very worrying. And that, I think, will become more and more possible.
Although the posts may be identifiable as fake when time is taken to look at them, the same attention is not guaranteed when quickly scrolling on social media. The ability to add council logos to unofficial material is something that could be extremely damaging when not used responsibly.
Yeah, it's really easy to make this kind of post. You just have to give a description of the image you want, and you've got it. Of course, that assumes that you've made up in advance the caption that's to appear. But you could also imagine saying, invent me a short caption which suggests that the council is looking for people, and it would make up something. A short caption, no more than 6 words, whatever. And you can imagine it doing that too.
Although City of York Council have said the posts are nothing to do with them, it is very difficult to reach every person that has seen a viral post, showing how powerful this easily accessible technology is.
And finally, bored of having your shopping delivered by a human? Why not try a 6-wheeled robot? A new incentive in North Leeds is using these robots to do just that. Azalea Anisco has more.
Would you let a robot do your shopping? Now, in the north of Leeds, customers are enjoying getting shopping delivered to their door by a robot.
I think the AI delivery shopping is very good. I think it's good for people that can't get it in the house. I've used it before when I've been ill and I couldn't go out the house, so I found it really good. And good thing about it, you can order your items and it gets delivered in the day and the night. It's also good because it doesn't get stuck in traffic. So if you had a driver, it could be very busy and the driver will get stuck in traffic, but with the AI robot, you don't really get in traffic.
So the big question is, would you let a robot deliver your shopping? I'm Azalea Anisco, back to the studio.
Thank you for joining us. That's all we have time for the Yorkshire portion of the show.
From all of us at Leeds Trinity University, we really appreciate you tuning in.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
There is no doubt that AI is going to be a part of our lives for better or for worse.
Our Yorkshire reporters Hannah de Villiers and Joshua Vickers are here with us now.
Hi Hannah and Joshua. Some really great stories there outlining the pros and cons of AI across the county. But what's the sense that you get from the people of Yorkshire? Are they against or are they embracing AI?
Yeah, I think as with anywhere, there's a real mix of feeling around the use of AI, especially, and it'll vary from industry to industry. So I think, when it comes to the use of AI and surveillance, yeah, it's a mix of feelings. Some people think that's really positive. Some people think maybe not so much. But yeah, I really do think it depends on the circumstance in which it's being used. And it varies quite a lot across the county. Yeah.
And Josh, we heard from artists who seemed quite apprehensive about the rise of AI. Do you think artists in Yorkshire will ever be able to truly embrace AI?
Well, I think that's a really good question because it's like, as Hannah was just saying, there are lots of different uses of AI and lots of different models, I guess. And particularly in Eve's package, the concern was generative AI and the effect that would have on artists in Yorkshire and across the world. And I think that now artists in Yorkshire are really starting to feel that this is a threat to their creative livelihoods and their future job prospects, to be honest, because a lot of companies are now outsourcing their PR and their marketing campaigns to like these generative models. They're creating like AI images and art with it, and that I think a lot of artists see that as like an attack on both what it means to be a human and an artist, in that this is something that is purely generative, built off all the art that's been done before, it can't truly create something original, and it can't be creative, something that is, deeply unique to people. So I think a lot of people do see it as an attack on both their financial stability and what it means to be an artist.
Thank you so much for your time, Hannah and Joshua.
Thank you.
Some fascinating insights from our local reporters in Yorkshire there. Now to our colleagues at the University of Alabama in the US, who have been exploring the use of AI across the state.
Straight ahead on the University of Alabama's Global News Relay.
Find out how artificial intelligence is playing a role in how some people receive severe weather warnings, telling them where to take cover.
And the technology of drones are now advanced as to help first responders in emergency situations. Find out how police are using it to save money and time.
And playgrounds are a staple in every child's life, but all equipment is not created equal. Find out what's in the works to help support all children emotionally and physically through play.
Learning how to swim can be a challenge, and for children with disabilities, this can be even more difficult. How one UA student is teaching this life skill in an inclusive manner.
Welcome to the WVUA 23 studios at the University of Alabama and our segment for the Global News Relay. I'm John Underwood.
And I'm Cameron Goldberg. We're excited to inform you about the issues in West Alabama and how artificial intelligence and other concerns impact families now and in the near future.
With any new advancement in technology, whether it's AI software or hardware, there's always a first. The first time it comes out of the box, the first time it's powered on, and yes, the first time it's used somewhere.
A new tech program at Tuscaloosa's police certainly had all that, but the program itself represents a first, too. Anthony Montalto joins us live in the studio on more on how this is used in our area. Anthony?
That's right, guys. With advances in AI and drones, some thought seeing drones as first responders was years away. Officers, though, they say that the new strategies are already paying off.
Jump over to the fish eye real quick.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
In the beginning, they kind of wondered about it. They were a little unsure because it was the unknown.
What was once a new gadget, now a regular tool at the Tuscaloosa Police Department.
The usefulness of it has become very apparent.
Welcome to policing in 2026. Welcome to Steve Zark's team.
We can be at a scene or an incident within under 3 minutes, and we have the ability to live stream or give them the view of the drone so they know what they're going into.
Plenty of police departments have drone units, but Tuscaloosa is one of the first in the nation, the first in the state to use the technology as a first responder. The drones are eyes in the sky before boots hit the ground.
Once we started our beta programs with it, we realized the importance of it, and then so we have the largest DFR program in the state.
So this program cost the city of Tuscaloosa more than $1 million, but Steve Zark, he says it's already paid for itself because it saves officers time, saves them money on gas bills, and keeps the city from having to outsource mapping projects.
I've used it to help locate missing elderly people. I've used it to help locate runaway children. And I might be hovering over your house, but that don't mean I'm looking at you. I'm actually hovering over a tree that's close to your house, but I'm looking at something else that's down the wood line away from you.
That versatility has other police departments visiting the drones in droves.
They come for one reason, to see what the drone is doing for the police department, and then we show them what it's doing for the entire city.
And with a year under the program's belt, Zark hopes the program's success will continue.
My career, I've got to help a lot of people, and I was there, I was able to make a difference, and now I can help serve so many more people.
Another successful mission, now part of an even bigger story.
In just 1 year of running, the Tuscaloosa Police drone program logged 2,000 flights. That's more than 5 flights per day. Back to you, Johnny Cameron.
Here in the South, our tornado season runs from November through May, but 2 of the most active months are March and April.
We've already had several rounds of severe weather, and so experts say clear communication is key to making sure people take action when warnings are issued. The National Weather Service is constantly looking at how to improve messaging. They've tested social media messaging, graphics, and phone notifications to find better ways to include multiple demographics and nationalities in the conversation. Within seconds, warnings go out over people's cell phones and weather radios, telling them to take cover in storm shelters or safe places. The agency is now using AI to translate warnings into other languages.
We're starting to use AI a little bit in just kind of organizing some of our internal content and whatnot. It's not full-blown use at our office. I know there is some AI being used in modeling, for example.
While AI is still in consideration for other uses to help in warning systems, the NWS and other researchers say their biggest concern is that people don't react to warnings because they're not paying attention. They advise staying connected through as many platforms as you can.
Here in Tuscaloosa, some renters are concerned about the role of technology in their safety, and specifically in-app-based key entry systems.
The fact that some apps are not fail-safe has raised concerns for some students in Tuscaloosa who want to ensure their safety and know what system to trust. Reporter Josie Malave joins us now with more on what she has learned about the complaints.
Thanks, Cameron and John. So one of the greatest concerns we've heard is that some Tuscaloosa renters say they sometimes find themselves locked out of their apartments at different hours of the day. Some say it's been hard to find a way inside due to the apps and some technical delays. That beep, the sound of a keypad working as designed, is something some Tuscaloosa renters say is missing when app-based entry systems don't work the way they're designed. In most complexes, residents are told to secure their doors when they leave, but the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi based systems don't always cooperate. High-speed internet is advertised for some of these complexes as an amenity, but some renters say unreliable Wi-Fi can leave app-based locks useless. Our reporting shows that at least 7 student housing complexes offer app-based key access as part of their entry systems. Some say they aren't confident they'll work.
We used to have physical keys, and I felt a little more secure knowing no one else can have my key, but then they switched to the electronic keys, and now we have doors, that stay propped open. We have some that, don't unlock even though you have the key for it on your phone. And like my front door, I have to use backup access because my original access that the apartment gives you with a PIN has never worked in the 2 years I've lived here.
We reached out to several companies responsible for installing and servicing these digital entry systems, but none responded to our request for comment.
So Josie, you've spoken to a few Tuscaloosa renters. Sorry. So sorry. Did they get any of their locks fixed?
Unfortunately, so far, according to those that I've spoken to, they haven't reported back that any of these locks have been fixed, and a lot of people say that it's time to go back to the original keys.
I agree. That's a really scary situation.
Thanks, guys.
Turning to another issue for children newborn to 18 years old in our state, thousands of them are currently in foster care, but experts say there are not enough homeowners or caseworkers to support them.
Reporter Sarah Murph joins us live in the studio to explain more on the shortage and how it's affecting children and how they're asking for help. Sarah?
Thanks, John and Cameron. Foster care advocates in West Alabama say the system needs more foster families and support in numerous ways to help provide stability for children in care.
Alabama's foster care system is under pressure. Experts say several factors are contributing to the strain, including a shortage of foster homes and support services.
Most of it is related to insufficient funding, insufficient training, and not enough foster homes.
Data from the state of Alabama Department of Human Resources shows a gap between the number of children in foster care and the homes available to care for them. Dr. Courtney Chapman-Thomas says the shortage can create instability for children in the system.
And every time that a child moves a placement, their lack of permanency causes a harm to their identity and causes a harm to their well-being.
Dr. Brian Gannon saw how difficult navigating medical care can be for foster families. In 2016, he launched the Fresh Start Clinic at University Medical Center.
Having one-stop shopping where all of the children would come through a certain point of entry, that everything is clearly noted in their medical records, and then we can track them medically as long as they're in state custody.
But medical care is only part of the picture. Foster families often need support outside the doctor's office, and organizations like Tuscaloosa Angels work to provide it.
and that it can even be something as simple as like a relationship, and someone choosing to continually show up for you is something that can make such a meaningful difference in people's foster care experience.
One of the organization's largest efforts is the Love Box program.
For a year, they commit to walking alongside them and helping them with practical needs, emotional needs, just overall support in the hopes that foster homes will keep their doors open.
Advocates say support like this can make a lasting difference.
And communities must wrap themselves around foster care. I deeply believe there's no such thing as someone else's child.
For foster parents, that support can lead to moments that make the challenges worth it.
One day I was driving and we had two little loves in the back seat, and one was like, hey mama, I have these special dots on my hand. And I said, yeah buddy, you do. He goes, I think this is where the angel kissed me to tell me it'd be okay, that I'd get to you one day.
It's moments like that where foster parents say they realize the support and stability can make a lasting difference. They want to reassure them someone is showing up who cares.
Advocates say community involvement is key, whether people volunteer, donate supplies, or open their homes as a foster parent. Back to you, John and Cameron.
The city of Tuscaloosa reached a settlement with Alabama's Department of Environmental Management and local environmentalists to help upgrade the city's sewage system.
This comes after what environmentalists call a chronic spillage into local waters from an antiquated sewage system. Ian Schwartz joins us live with more on what is next for the city. Ian?
After a 2-year legal battle with the city and state and decades of documentation of violations, environmentalists are looking ahead to improvements in the future. The lawsuit documented over 42 million gallons of sewage that overflowed around the city of Tuscaloosa between 2018 to 2023. The suit also documents collections of groundwater samples that indicated high amounts of E. coli and other dangerous materials and chemicals. Local environmentalist John Wathen says the growth of the city is one of the reasons for the impact on the system.
You know, some of these lines were built many, many years ago when it was just a sprawling neighborhood, and now you've got condominiums, you've got hotels, you've got chain stores, you've got all this stuff dumping into the same line that used to just service a neighborhood.
The settlement to the lawsuit requires the city to upgrade different lift stations as well as upgrading what is known as the Mercedes line. Both the Black Warrior Riverkeeper and Friends of Hurricane Creek encourage volunteers to invest in the future of their waterways when they host river cleanup days. If you are interested in taking part, you can follow both groups on social media. John and Cameron?
Now to the issue of playgrounds in our community. Playgrounds are required by federal law to have accessible routes so all children can play on the park's equipment.
Fully inclusive parks are a rare find in Tuscaloosa, but at Sokol Park, there's equipment where all children can play. The Tuscaloosa community built Mason's Place in 2014. The level ground for open play areas and specialized equipment are just a few considerations park builders have to consider for inclusive play and the accessibility to meet federal guidelines. This was a dream for many parents of more to come, but they're still waiting and wanting.
I think so many times people, and I don't like this attitude, but they think, well, why should we make such big changes for such a small segment of our population? But that's not really the case when you think about how many people use accessibility features that aren't dealing with a disability.
There are only about 1,300 accessible parks according to Playgrounds for Everyone, which is a national guide to the playgrounds in the U.S.
To find out more of what the Hank Poor Foundation is doing to support more inclusive playgrounds in the state and people with disability challenges, go to the hankpoorfoundation.org website.
Children with cognitive or learning or physical disabilities sometimes face an extra layer of difficulty when learning a new skill.
One University of Alabama student athlete understood the challenges and decided she wanted to help local children through their families through adaptive swim lessons.
Reporter Mary Lou Lepez joins to tell us about the foundation that was created to help children learn a new skill.
John and Cameron, Sydney Blackhurst swims breaststroke for UA during swim meets and helps one-on-one with individuals in a community pool after her classes and practices. When Jaden Swanson jumps in the pool, the 10-year-old says it's not always fun.
Kind of scary, but now that I'm used to it, I think it's good.
Jaden's fear of swimming is put to the test now every week at his one-on-one swim lessons.
Putting my face under the water, even though it's scary.
Sydney Blackhurst is a junior studying finance who is also on the University of Alabama swim and dive team. She created the Beyond Barrier Swim Foundation to help children with disabilities.
It honestly can bring tears to my eyes. It makes my heart so incredibly happy that it's something meaningful and it's something that is actually genuinely helping the kids.
Sydney Blackhurst grew up competing and jumping off platforms like these. But her motivation comes from her own challenges. She fought a chronic illness during her teen years that changed her life.
I got to a point where I was sleeping 18 hours a day. I couldn't even talk to my family because my brain was so tired.
Through her passion for swim and her father's belief in her, she fought through her battle.
I 1000% see myself in these kids, and I didn't really have anything like this.
Now she's helping other families do the same for their children.
To give hope and that power of believing in others to other people. And through swimming, because it's something that I love so much.
The lessons are free and customized to each student. The volunteers donate their time and skills for the love of the children and the smiles which shine in the water.
Definitely a life skill to be able to learn how to swim and be able to do that confidently. So that is a big deal for us.
No matter the fear or skill level, Sydney believes every child should learn how to swim.
I had some help, and then I was encouraged, which was good.
Sydney and the other volunteers hope each week brings a new stroke of change for each child they support in the water. The Beyond Barrier Swim Foundation started in June 2025. They also currently have another location operating and helping families in Athens, Georgia. They plan to start another group in Tucson, Arizona in the near future. John and Cameron.
Pickleball has exploded in popularity over the U.S. in the last few years. This pickleball craze is also changing Tuscaloosa.
A new app is allowing Tuscaloosa pickleball players to stay connected on and off the court.
The Pickle Spot, an app that has allowed users to connect with pickleball in Tuscaloosa. Users can find players, courts, statistics, and more. Users can also set skill level to find players similar to them.
The app was built by local developers specifically for the Tuscaloosa community. For fast check-in, QR codes have been set up at each court in Tuscaloosa. The app released in 2025 and is still receiving updates. We hope you enjoyed learning about issues and solutions here in West Alabama. For the University of Alabama, I'm John Underwood.
And I'm Cameron Goldberg. Thank you for watching.
A fascinating look into the current issues in AI in the US. Now joining us live are John Underwood and Cameron Goldberg.
John and Cameron, thank you so much for joining us. We really loved the programme and it gave us a real insight into how AI is being used in the US. So John, drones, technology and AI are now being used to fight crime and respond to emergencies in real time. What did your team learn about how it helps with emergencies and weather warnings?
So with weather warnings in specific, AI is helping translate weather warnings into other languages. One of the most prominent non-English speaking communities here in Alabama is the Spanish speaking population. And so AI is just essentially translating those weather warnings into Spanish so that way people can understand what's happening and know what to do and take cover. It's also being utilized to help reach out to people who are deaf because a lot of weather warnings rely on sound to essentially get the point across. And so they're working on ways to help people alert people who cannot hear.
And Cameron, do you think that AI and drone technology is the future for policing in the US?
Absolutely. I mean, AI is constantly evolving, and I think, we have a long way to go, but I think that in the end, it will help first responders, act quicker, help people faster, and that's the ultimate goal.
Perfect. John, Cameron, thank you so much for your time today. And now for some news closer to home at Coventry University here in the UK.
In the West Midlands, AI is being used in a variety of ways, from small businesses to its role in the music industry.
From Coventry University, I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Connor.
And we are reporting for the Global News Relay. In this segment, we explore how artificial intelligence is transforming various industries in and around Coventry.
Coming up, we explore AI's effect on music, how it's changed the car, and its impacts on small businesses.
AI is now fully integrated in bigger companies, creating a new disadvantage for smaller businesses who have a difficult time keeping up to date with the business giants. These small companies are now starting to choose between doing things as they were or jumping into the AI novelty.
As the world starts embracing the possibilities AI can offer, it is up to businesses to decide whether to adapt or stick to their own ways. With multi-million companies such as Amazon, Google, and Microsoft have already committed to AI and machine learning, micro, small, and medium-sized businesses have yet to determine whether to offer a traditional or innovative approach to this matter. Small and medium businesses in the UK account for the 99.9% of the business population, therefore being an essential sector of the country's economy. As of 2023, 48% of the British firms had no plans of using AI technology, with 50% of the customer-facing businesses reporting no sight of implementing these new tools in their workflow. However, as the internet has democratized the usage of AI, SMEs are unlocking new approaches to it, being now only 33% of the companies to report having no plans to use AI, a total of 15% less than 2 years before. At the West Midlands Business Festival, entrepreneurs and industry experts from across the region gathered to explore how AI can shape their future. With workshops and panel discussions focused on new technologies, the event highlights the growing pressure on these businesses to adapt in an evolving digital economy.
So I run a small business. I can build things with AI in hours.
AI is really important for startups to do all of those things that take time for a human to try and digest, but that can allow you to put energy and effort into the things that make money.
One of the hard things to do with AI is to make it deterministic. If you can achieve that, it brings really strong results. If you can rely on it to do the same thing every time.
I think you need to be very careful with the data that you put into AI. But if you're using the paid versions, you can restrict the data that AIs can use.
There's a level of access that these companies inherently have to our data. And as much as they might say they won't use it, we've got no guarantees over that.
You need some guidelines, you need some governance, but it shouldn't stop us from using the technology.
As many people are still skeptical about what AI can do, we spoke to some AI experts who have already implemented AI tools in the jobs.
Think about AI as your everyday partner rather than, like a replacement of you. So before you go to the startup or anything and say, I'm doing an AI startup, I will spend 30 days to try to use 30 AI. The second thing is to make sure that we're looking at the IP of AI, to make sure that everything you do and create with the AI, it's your property and not the property of the AI.
Always there, it's always responsive, and it helps me go from really simple answers of questions with it, and it's quick is the main thing for me. So you can't really switch up critical thinking. You've got to always be analysing what it does, double checking. In terms of the app itself, it doesn't use any AI within the app, but it was key within the development process. And then obviously we checked out on the human element, and that sped up the process massively. We cut weeks off the development process.
AI is here to stay, and businesses of all sizes know that. It will be a matter of time before we start seeing what thrives and what fails in the implementation of this infamous tool. Brianda Ayala, reporting from Coventry University.
If you choose to adapt AI into your business, we might see a growth in our economy and quality of life, with extra leisure time and improved motivation. In fact, AI is also affecting our culture and our entertainment as it evolves in the music industry.
Artificial intelligence is moving into the world of music, with new tools now able to generate full songs in seconds. As the technology develops, questions are growing about how it could change the way music is made. Here is Irene Andreo with more.
Could AI artists take over the music industry? With many climbing the Billboard charts, will they outnumber the human counterparts, or is this a trend that would fade as quickly as it emerged? Artists like Sienna Rose, Chania Monet, or The Velvet Sundown have dominated the space of music in what feels like a short time. Though their styles differ, they all have one thing in common. They are AI generated. With celebrities endorsing the music to their audience of millions, is the artificial becoming our new normal? According to AlphaWise, 60% of people between 18 and 29 years old listen to around 3 hours of AI-generated music per week. But are the people in Coventry welcoming this change?
If we can make some things easier, that's not a problem.
If AI comes along, then it's just going to mess up the whole music industry.
I don't know, it's not going to have the same kind of vibe and feel.
I think that's like fabricated music. It's not original.
As long as it's vibey, I'm listening to it any day.
Well, creative arts is literally about being creative, and the robot can't really be creative.
It's just missing that little bit of soul in it.
Contributing writer for Music Groove and music enthusiast, Eula Riemann-Snyder shared the importance of heritage and identity for listeners to receive a song.
I think it's crucial. I think it's super important. So the genres that we see, but also the evolution of those genres. You know, all generations are able to resonate with those genres in some way. They're able to see themselves within those genres, their identity, their heritage. It's all within the music.
According to Deezer, 34% of the songs uploaded to its streaming service, about 50,000 per day, are AI generated. Dr. Rich Hall, specialist in music technology, talked about the impact of AI in the music industry.
I think live music will always be there because people always have, and I think always will, and increasingly move towards the sort of human experience. So whilst we might use AI for music creation and in lots of other aspects of life, I still think, physical, real experiences will always win out.
At the moment, industry experts don't see AI taking over the music industry. Its reliance on an archive of popular discographies means that it will never truly replace human creativity. Irene Andreu, reporting from Coventry University.
From the competitive world of music to the vicious competition of sport, AI has begun to change the game, and we want to see why and how this is happening. Our reporter Renee Brown talks about how AI is impacting football.
In today's age, AI is constantly changing and evolving different aspects of our society. For us, we're curious to see how AI is impacting the world of football with introductions in things such as VAR and how it's going to affect the World Cup coming up this year.
Today, I am here with CBS Arena to get the opinions of the fans on the usage of AI and VAR.
The main experience I've got of VAR was in 2024 when Coventry got to semi-final of the FA Cup, scored 3 goals, then extra time, Victor Torp scored 4th, meaning we would gone to the final to face Man City. However, Haji Wright's foot was ruled offside from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so the goal was disallowed. The game then went to penalties, which Coventry unfortunately lost. It was a heartbreaking day for City fans.
As a Spanish football fan, I'm quite used to AI being used for VAR, so I think it'll be interesting to see the difference and see if it actually works for the game, for the championship game actually.
While Coventry City fans may be frustrated, players see things differently. We asked one pro how the technology actually affects them on the pitch.
When you hear the phrase AI in football, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I'd say just the technology that's implemented in football now, starting with goal line technology, now it's VAR.
Having AI becoming now so important in the game, do you feel like it's reducing almost the human aspect of the game?
Definitely, because of the long waits, all of that, and at the end of the day, there is a referee, there is a linesman. If VAR is there, there's not much point in them.
Do you feel that players are educated properly about the technology that's being used within it?
Yeah, we do tend to get a rundown with it, but obviously there's still always question marks.
Video tech isn't exclusive to the elite. At the grassroots level, one coach explains how VO cameras are revolutionising their training.
My opinion on the AI in football, to be fair, is I'm not a big fan of VAR. The goal line technology, perfect, but the VAR, I'm not really a fan of it, to be fair. It slows the game down, so they're trying to make ways to improve it, but I just feel like it's slowing it down more than anything.
Yeah, obviously as a coach, I know you're familiar with
the VO system.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that's impacted you as a coach in terms of being able to use that technology?
So the VO, to be fair, I wish we'd have had the VO years ago. I think that is probably one of the best parts of technology that they brought into football, because now as a player or as a coach, you can go back and analyse.
We've heard the perspective of fans, players and managers. As the Pirates light up the CBS Arena, we are left wondering how AI technology developments will impact football in the future.
And now AI is taking not just art or music, it's taking everyday jobs. Graduates fight tooth and nail for limited spots in their fields, but due to AI, their ability to get jobs seems to be limited. Our reporters Megan Cole and Nina Kajal have more.
The rate of graduate job opportunities has been plummeting for the past 3 years, one of the biggest drives being AI automating entry-level graduate job positions.
Graduate jobs are at an all-time low of 10,000, with approximately 541,000 graduates in 2025 entering the competitive job market.
Graduate roles can be monotonous, repetitive tasks, like being an assistant to an already established employee, or as simple as data entry. Roles that AI can do quicker and cheaper, exactly what companies are looking for.
Megan talks to expert James Shuttleworth about this topic.
So there are lots and lots of places where it's potentially the case, but so far each one of them comes with complications. As a software developer, that's one area that people are really looking at in quite a lot of detail, and you will see lots of reports of people saying, that most of their code is written by AI, or they've sort of 90% of it, they've got rid of this many staff. But you also see lots of reporting on how poorly written that code is. Lots of people, walking back on those decisions, having to rehire people. So it's a little bit chaotic at the moment. And actually, in most reporting, it's really difficult to disentangle this sort of, almost fanboy, like chasing of AI being revolutionary, and then the sort of people prophesying doom because of AI. And the answer's somewhere in the middle.
Even with AI taking typical graduate roles, it still can't produce the same level of creativity, depth or accuracy as humans can. As we heard from James Shuttleworth, many employees eventually need to backpedal on their decision to replace people with AI. The output that AI produces just isn't good enough.
If you're lucky enough to find a job to apply for, it's unlikely a human will even see your application, as AI scans through thousands of applications before it reaches human employers. Many graduates don't even make it past the automated filtering stage because the algorithm doesn't detect the exact patterns it needs to pass it on to humans. More onto that with our next specialist.
So I start getting, and other people working in this area start getting tons of calls going, oh my God, we can't cope with the volume of applications that we're getting and sifting them. What on earth are we going to do? But there is no easy answer. So some businesses turn to AI to basically sift the AI. Nobody likes that. The businesses don't even like that because it doesn't work very well. Because what will happen is, say your applicants are all using ChatGPT to generate their AI. You use ChatGPT to assess that, and ChatGPT goes to all the ChatGPT generated applications. Wow, they look brilliant. You should interview all of those people. That's fantastic. And all the models are really vulnerable to doing that.
This leaves all graduates in a tough position. AI suddenly came out of nowhere and left graduates from 2023 onwards feeling stuck and unable to enter a competitive workplace. According to Bloomberg, the amount of graduate jobs has decreased below 10,000 for the first time ever. AI is shaping the job market quicker than anyone can keep up.
Artificial intelligence is becoming a fundamental part of the modern driving experience. From voice activation controlling the car's functions to systems that monitor driver attention, AI technology is changing the way we interact with the automobile.
I looked into these changes and how they impact the consumer.
Cars today aren't just vehicles. They are, in essence, smart devices on wheels. And the biggest upgrade happening right now is the user interface. Artificial intelligence is taking dashboards from cluttered and confusing to clean, personal, and actually rather helpful. However, it's still a developing technology, it's still not perfect. Amer Mahmood, course director for automotive and transport design at Coventry University, said this about the technology and its future.
The benefits of the interface is still is something that we've become used to. It's something that we are now very familiar with, whether it is from our smartphones, whether it is from our home entertainment systems, how we accessed information. So the user in cars have a lot of feedback.
And eventually, a lot of drivers end up turning off the technology altogether. AI isn't just changing how cars drive, it's changing how we interact with the automotive industry altogether. And this is just the beginning. Many skeptics have expressed concern over the technology's development, worrying that it might do more harm than it would good. Jaguar Land Rover have also considered this fact. Alfie Pyatt, from their powertrain team, explains more.
Humans can make decisions on the road that computer may not have that understanding of what's the best situation, but I think it's important that when you're testing these things, you can cover every single element, so not to overlook anything while testing, because how many situations on a road do you experience that you would have probably said a couple of years ago, oh, that would never happen to me, I'd never think someone will do this. So you've got to make sure that the AI will be aware and able to deal with every single situation, which is probably a lot easier said than done.
Finally, from Coventry University, do you think you can tell the difference between AI and human art? As machines become better equipped to create and design, experts are asking, what comes next? Is AI a tool, a partner, or a threat to human imagination and creativity?
AI art is everywhere. On our feeds, in galleries, even selling for millions. According to Digital Silk, over 15 billion AI images have been generated since 2022. But as machines become creators, where does that leave human artists? University students on creative courses are feeling the weight of AI. A report by The Independent suggested entry-level jobs have fallen by a third since ChatGPT was launched.
The more that AI sort of increases and develops, there's less need to do stuff yourself. So that's and it's already creeping into the art industry. So it's definitely going to creep into craft.
Creative students are entering the professional world with AI hanging over their heads.
We decided to put AI to the test and see how long it takes to generate a detailed piece of art.
Art can take days, months, even years. The Mona Lisa, one of the most beloved and well-known paintings in the world, took 16 years to create. Man-made art takes time, precision, care, and intense detail. If AI can create pieces like this instantly, what happens to the human value of art? As AI technology grows more sophisticated, its role in the world of art also shifts from idea generation to participation.
First of all, you're going to need to be able to do the prompts that are necessary in order to actually get the AI to do what you want it to do. You're still going to need to learn how to use computers. I don't think it will replace them fully. I still think you're going to need to focus perhaps more on coding or perhaps more on other things that will allow you to control the machine, because at the end of the day, AI is still a machine that you have to control.
The prospect of AI becoming the norm in art is clearly frightening for some. But can there be anything positive to come out of this? Can AI actually benefit art?
It needs to remain a tool, and I think the moment that it stops being a tool and people completely surrender to it, I think this is where the danger is. And I think it's the human touch that is that people respond to the most. And we're entering a time, I think, where people they want a little bit more authenticity. And it doesn't mean, I think, that necessarily that AI can't play a role within that, but we need to kind of tread the line of using it as a tool, but having something human produced at the end of it.
These creatives are making their opinions about AI in art known.
It's clear for most they feel it is actively threatening their livelihoods. But for some, it's becoming a useful and somewhat empowering tool. Will it remain assistive or overtake? Only time will tell where AI in art will lead next.
As we can see, AI is affecting several industries across Coventry, ranging from business to the arts. As its popularity and functionality grows, Its lack of transparency raises ethical questions in its users.
We wonder, will it continue to shape the future of our industries? But that's all we have today from Coventry University. Let's move on to another university next.
Some real food for thought there from the West Midlands. Thank you, Jasmine and Connor.
Now to southern India, where we join our colleagues in Bangalore at Alliance University in India, who have been exploring how AI is being used by businesses across the region.
Hello and welcome to the Alliance University segment of the Global News Relay. I am Ananya Madhukar. As artificial intelligence continues to reshape the world around us, we bring you a series of stories to explore its growing impact across multiple domains. As artificial intelligence continues to advance at an unprecedented pace, its integration into robotics is redefining how machines interact with the world around us. From industrial automation to intelligent decision-making systems, the scope of this technology is expanding rapidly. To gain deeper insight into these developments, our reporter Ashi brings you a conversation with Dr. Shamant Shanmuga Prasad from the Alliance School of Applied Engineering, a robotics expert with extensive experience across the industry and academia. Over to you, Ashi.
Can you share some of the most impactful experiments or projects that you have conducted at the AI Center of Excellence at Alliance and how they demonstrate the practical integration of AI into robotics?
Okay, we're going to be working on multi-domain integration. So basically, when you focus on robotics, it's going to be an integration of mechanical, computer science, electrical, electronics, a whole bunch of things, right? Now, where does this AI part come into picture? So AI is being mostly done on the software side of it, but in order to make that AI work, we need the hardware part. So right now we're focusing on few domains such as AMRs and AGVs, that is autonomous mobile robots and autonomous guided vehicles. We're trying to set up an in-house campus or like a hypercentric or location-specific autonomous system that can work only within our university. And then the other part, what we have is soft robots. So soft robots are nothing but highly flexible devices. So these are an alternative to traditional grippers that we have on our collaborative robots, that are the CRVs. So in case you, for example, you want to pick up an egg, right? So you can't use a normal, the gripper which has metal fingers or plastic fingers. The egg is going to crack. So imagine we have a very flexible device like this, and then we put this as a gripper, and this works on the concept of pneumatics. So this can bend according to the shape of the object. The one more such application that we focus is on software development and robot simulation. So before we put any concept into trial, that means into the hardware, we go to test it on the software. So that is where the robot operating system, or ROS, comes into picture.
So what you've said so far about the robots and drones has been very impressive. Further, I'd like to ask you about the driverless buggies and how there's AI involved in that.
Okay, so we are actually working on driverless buggies that is still at the infancy stage, but our proof of concept is kind of ready. So what we have done is we built a miniature AMR, that is an autonomous mobile robot. So this we're going to use a 2D LiDAR and also a 3D LiDAR to map this entire university. And a combination of photogrammetry data and also GPS data that we have from our Google satellites. A combination of all this is going to give us a very clear picture of what roads are and what the road humps are at the university. And also the vision system on board is able to calculate how many people are around it, or when to speed up and when to slow down, or if there are any road humps on the road, so it can gradually go over the road hump without tipping over.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insights with us. It was great speaking with you.
Next, we turn our attention to the growing influence of artificial intelligence in data science and communication. From machine learning models to natural language processing, AI is redefining how we interpret and interact with information. Our reporter, Shiven Sharma, speaks with Uma Sadashivan, a respected name in the field of AI and data science, to explore how these technologies are being applied in real-world scenarios and what the future holds. Over to you, Shivain.
You have to make the right use of the AI, and it depends on the problem-solving skills, along with rebrushing all your skills again and again. You have to. There is a constant learning in this process. How can bias be identified and mitigated in the training of large language model (LLMs), and what strategies do organizations really use to make sure that these models are fair, ethical, and unbiased?
Okay. Yeah, as AI systems become more embedded in decision making, now it is very important to make sure that any system that any organization is building, it should be unbiased and it should be fair and with a diverse perspective. So this diversity can come from different ways. The first thing is data. So whatever training data that you're taking, it should be diverse. Otherwise, if their data skewed towards some direction, definitely your results will be skewed towards to that direction. For example, a race or gender or any, if you have women data more, then definitely it will skew to that. So in order to avoid that, we should validate the data. And the second thing is the decision making. In that also, in each phase of AI cycle, we should validate the bias and fairness. And the third thing is it should include all people, like both women, everyone in the decision making part. So building a responsible AI is not just the technology. It's a combination of technology, people, and governance. And I think almost all the companies will have such team, compliance and regulatory teams. They will continuously audit and they will check the components and make sure that it is unbiased. It is not biased.
So what can be your advice to the generation who is pursuing data science and AI, and the professionals who are transitioning into AI?
So to the youngest generation, those who are trying to come into AI, what my suggestion is, build your fundamentals very strong. Start from proper basic mathematics like linear algebra, statistics, and build your CS fundamentals. And then instead of rushing into tools, make your fundamentals very clear, so that any new technology or any new trends come, you can easily adapt with that and you can easily learn and stay always curious and be consistent. That is to the youngest generation, and I want to say, and try to solve real world problems and publish your work, so that you'll get that visibility. And to the professionals who want to transition into AI, instead of starting from scratch, what my suggestion is, try to find how AI can utilize in your expertise area.
This was a wonderful session, and we really got some good insights from you. Thank you for your time and being here. And over to you, Ananya.
That was an in-depth look into how machine learning and natural language processing are shaping the way we understand data and communication today. In today's fast-evolving business environment, artificial intelligence is no longer just an emerging trend. It is a practical tool reshaping how organizations train their people, make decisions, and scale their operations. So how can businesses truly unlock the value of AI beyond the buzzwords? Our reporter Shohini Mukherjee speaks with Darshan K. Narvanglekar, an AI training specialist and corporate trainer, to understand how structured learning and leadership development are helping organizations effectively adopt AI. Over to you, Shohini.
I would like to start by asking you, how is the integration of AI reshaping strategic decision-making processes with organizations, and what challenges do leaders like you face when balancing data-driven insights with human judgment?
Okay. Very interesting question. When you decide, let me ask you this question. Let's say you are the business owner. You want to decide on something. What do you decide upon? Is it the data? Is it the gut feeling, or is it your intuition? What's the decision usually comes from? most of the business owners, when I spoke to this, they mentioned that it's, what my experience is there. I've been in the market for so many years. That's how I take the decisions. Essentially, what's happening when this decision making, whenever it comes to decision making, the business owner or the key stakeholder becomes the bottleneck rather than being the enabler for business. They become the bottleneck. Now, AI moves that bottleneck, or rather streamlines that workflow. Let's assume that there is a lot of data-driven decision that's to be taken. A business owner or a stakeholder spends a lot of time understanding the data, backed by the experience, backed by the market knowledge. They try to understand, what should I decide? AI automates that. AI increases the speed. The best example that I can give you is about Amazon's supply chain market. You look at supply chain market strategy today, it's automated. Even before they know that the demand hits, AI model would have already predicted that in the next 2 weeks, the demand is going to go high. But having said this, there is something critical about AI is, sometimes by looking at the data, AI might say, you've got to enter into new geography for your business. You have to bring this into your product portfolio because this is what the customers are asking for. That's where the human judgment comes in. We have to, being a leader, you should be in a position to automate, or rather find a way what should be automated, what should not be, what should go through the human judgment. It can be a brilliant AI analyst. It can be fast. It can do data analysis faster. It can be data rich, but it needs to have a seasoned leader context.
So, what would you say, in what ways is AI redefining roles, required skills, and career paths within several organizations, and how are companies preparing for their workforce for this shift?
In the world, assuming that in the world, all the routine tasks, all the automated tasks are taken over by AI. I was asking this question myself, what is left for humans to do? I was talking about the Maltbot, which is now called as Clawbot, the Claude Code. I was looking at that. It's incredibly good. I still remember about a few years, about a year back, I had to create an API for order recapturing in one of the payment systems. That's an API integration. Probably I took about a day to integrate that code. I had already the code ready with me, but still the service provider gave the code. I still had the code. I took about a day's time to integrate it. Cloud Code can do just in minutes.
Yeah.
Then do we really think that it can replace engineers? Yes, it can. It will. If at all we are not into the higher order of thinking. AI can tell you that, can fix the problem that you have already defined. But the definition of the problem cannot be created by AI. The problem definition, the identifying the problem, the framework of the problem, the stakeholder management, the ethical reasoning, and more of it is solutioning. AI can give you, what I need solution X, it can give you solution X, but it doesn't know how to create that solution X. It doesn't know that X is the solution for this. That solutioning is what the brilliant human minds would be focusing on. Let me give you one of the best examples. You know about JP Morgan, one of the legal entities, right? JP Morgan has a platform called Coin, COIN, Coin platform. Look at that Coin platform. It can parse through 400, what am I talking about? 400, 500 pages, probably about 1,000-page legal document in a matter of minutes, which takes typically months together for any lawyer or a paralegal to go through all those documents. It can just do it in minutes. Now, the skill shift is, do you really think that the paralegals will become redundant? I don't think so. The paralegal will go a step above. I go through the paralegal documents. I go through what the Coin platform gives me from JP Morgan. I write my own understanding out of it. For my legal advisor, for my lawyer or my legal partner, I have to give a summary of it. I have to write down the summary of it. I need to give them the talking points. This is what a paralegal will do. So human-centric skills like, empathy, communication, ethical judgment, this will take up the importance rather than the routine tasks itself.
This perspective highlights how structured training and leadership play a crucial role in integrating AI into real-world business environments. To conclude, the stories we heard today reflect the remarkable impact that artificial intelligence is creating across our world. From robotics and data science to business and education, AI is transforming how we think, learn, and solve problems. It is enabling innovation, improving efficiency, and opening new possibilities across industries. As we move forward, the collaboration between humans and intelligent systems will continue to shape a smarter and more connected future. Thank you for joining us. This is Ananya Madhukar signing off.
I'm pleased to say we're now joined by Ananya Madhukar and Sanskruti Shetye from Alliance University. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We really enjoyed the show. So how is AI changing the world of work in India?
AI is changing the world of work in India by making jobs faster, smarter, and more efficient. Earlier, people had to do repetitive tasks manually, like entering data, sorting information, or basic customer care. Now, AI tools can do many of these tasks quickly. This means that workers now focus more on decision making, creativity, and managing AI tools instead of only doing routine work. In the interviews, you would have seen that you would have been informed about sectors like banking, healthcare, IT, education, and e-commerce, and that AI is already being used a lot.
And can you expand on how it's being used in the robotics department at Alliance?
At Alliance University, the robotics department has become really forward in the way it uses AI. Usually, as you could assume robotics, what does it come to your mind? It's about pre-programmed like robots solving tasks. At Alliance, students are heavily encouraged to make teammates rather than just commands. So AI is used in a way where these robots, and hence called teammates, are made to program in such a way they can solve impromptu problems and impromptu decisions that arise during these tasks, just like the human world we live in. And one very prominent example you would have seen is in the driverless buggies that in the interview that took place. It was such a prominent thing they're working on currently. So that's how it's going on Alliance.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
And that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for joining us.
We hope that you've learned more of both the benefits and concerns about AI across the world, and how it's a constant source of discussion as it continues to grow and enter so many aspects of our daily lives. From all of us on the Master's Journalism course here at Leeds Trinity University, goodbye.
Goodbye.